Alongside Jesse Simonton, I'm Austin Price from here in Hoover. Tennessee takes the podium today at SEC Media Days. Jesse, your overall impressions of Jeremy Pruitt and his three players?
I think this is a confident team for a group that came off a 5-7 season and ended it, with two blowout losses. They feel like, I think the two buzzwords certainly seem to be continuity and smoothness. They talked about, the transition from year one to year two, the fact that there's a lot more that they know what to do, they're comfortable in the system. I think the fact that, Jarrett Garantano, both in the little local media deal and then even up there on the podium, talked a lot about how much his coach now believes in him. Jeremy Pruitt talked about how much he believes in Jarrett Garantano. I think that's going to make a huge difference for this team. Now, we still have to see how it translates to wins and losses, but I think they absolutely feel like they have their quarterback, and now it's kind of what can they do with the pieces around them.
Yeah, Jeremy talked about during his open media with the print. A year ago I really didn't know who to bring, and this year it just kind of, there was a lot of guys, but these were the kind of the three that have stood out to him. Garantano is a guy that I think thrives on confidence and specifically thrives in having somebody back his confidence. And right now, that's Jeremy Pruitt.
Yeah, and he talked specifically. I mean, Hubbs is going to have a story out on this, but Jarrett talked specifically that it was a February meeting, a dinner that he and his girlfriend had over at Jeremy's house. It's a blueberry cobbler. That Jeremy's wife made, and that was kind of the turning point for their relationship. And ever since then, it's been different. We noticed that in the spring. It's continued through the off season. And, I think that's going to, I think it's going to mean dividends for the football team. Now, Jeremy also talked about they've gotten bigger, they've gotten stronger. Every coach says that, up here. But I think that's been probably the biggest takeaway. That, and again, just the defensive continuity, the fact that they feel like they know what their role is now, they know the expectations. So now they can go out and be violent, like Daniel Batui said. They can just flash and go, like Darrell Taylor said. I think that's going to be important.
No news on Aubrey Solomon or D'Angelo Gibbs. He did say that, it may be frustrating for the kids, but it's not frustrating for him. They're going to continue to go about things as business as usual. Trey Smith, he did acknowledge Trey intends to play. They're trying to work out a plan with the doctors, which is something that we've talked about on our site for well over a month.
Yeah, so, those were probably the biggest headline news in terms of, kind of emptying out the notebook there. We'd be remiss to say if Jeremy filibustered about as good as anyone has seen around here for almost 22 minutes, I think, in his opening statement. Went through the entire coaching staff, the roster, the trainers.
Hometowns.
Even Miss Myra got a shout-out.
Oh, Miss Myra got more talk than just about anybody.
So, it was an impressive, filibuster there. But, Tennessee certainly seemed to represent their program well today. I thought it was interesting. There wasn't a lot of talk about expectations. That was not something that really anybody talked about. Jeremy, again, for the second straight year, actually even probably a little bit more overt than he did last year, gave out some, recruiting shout-outs. Basically, Rakeem Jarrett, didn't name him, but, hey, we have all these senior wide receivers. If you're a wide receiver, come play for us. We don't have any outside linebackers and pass rushers outside of the guy I brought here in Darrell Taylor, so y'all come play for us too.
Worked out pretty well a year ago. Talked about West Virginia, talked about Charlotte, North Carolina, and it talked about Atlanta, Georgia, all three of places that helped Tennessee's recruiting class be pretty special in 2019. We'll see how that turns out in 2020. We'll have more coverage throughout the day and then through the week from SEC Media Days. He's Jesse Simonton. I'm Austin Price.